Hi, my name is Khleif, and I'm the host of the Lifetime Cash Flow Through Real Estate Investing podcast. And every week I interview multifamily rock stars, and we talk about how they've built incredible wealth for themselves and their families through multifamily properties. So hit the like and subscribe buttons to get notified every Monday when a new episode comes out. Let's get to it. Welcome back to Multifamily Rockstars. So as you guys know, this is where we interview people that are just flat out crushing it in this business and show you the inside scoop as to how multifamily investors are creating massive success in their businesses and of course in their lives. And as always, I've got my co-host who's the director of our massive action team for the Warrior Group, Mark Nagy, on.
Hey Rod, happy to be here for another one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So today we've got Ian Schmidt. Ian's a warrior, and Ian's been in the real estate business for 12 years. He's a listing broker, and you know what? Let me just let him tell you his story. Welcome to the show, brother.
Oh, Rod, sensational to be here. Thanks so much for having me. This is life gold stuff here. So been listening to the show for a long time, and can't believe I'm here as a guest.
Well, kind of you to say that, buddy. Kind of you to say that. I, appreciate you being here, and just give us a little background on you, on a little better bio, a little higher level, but background on who you are, where you came from.
Sure. In short, Rod, been in Charleston 19 years, and I was in hospitality for a little over a decade before switching. First, I became invested in single family homes in the Charleston area, and then about 6 years ago, transitioned into residential real estate, where there are a lot of ups and downs income wise, and so passive income is a great way to offset the slows in income and the downturns. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was my initial foray and interest into investing in real estate.
I see. And at what point did you decide multifamily was the way to go? And did you have an epiphany? It was like, okay, now I get it. I know. When did you join the Warrior program?
9 months ago. So September of 22. And I'll tell you, I can almost tell you the exact date I had the epiphany, Rod.
Okay.
So I bought my first single family in 2011, definitely made some mistakes there and built that up to 7 doors of mid-term and short-term rentals through Airbnb. And for about 3 or 4 years was doing a lot of reading about multifamily, listening to podcasts. And I in 2021 tried to buy a quadplex on my own. Market was hot, lost out on a couple of deals, and it was mid-April that, as luck would have it, went to a local multifamily meetup where I met some mutual friends of ours, Sam and Jonathan Wells, here in Charleston. And I listened to them give a presentation for about 2 hours, how they had put together 400, I think it was over 400 doors of multifamily apartments through syndication. And full disclosure, after that meetup, I jumped onto our local multi-listing service. Jonathan is a residential agent as well. And I looked up his production for the past 12 months and saw he was a very busy, successful agent. And I had this epiphany to your question of, how did this busy realtor like myself put together all of these doors? So I wanted to know more and jumped in with both feet to learn.
Well, he told you about the Warrior program, I guess. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
He did.
Okay. Oh, love it.
Yep.
Love it.
He told me about the Warrior program, and it it was just meeting that one person face to face after wanting to learn more for years and years. But having someone I had met directly was what really opened the door and caused a change.
I'll have to thank him. So take a minute, Ian, and talk about some of the good decisions you've made over the last period of time, whatever it is, and maybe even some bad decisions you've made since you got going in this business. And sometimes the bad is as helpful to listeners as the good, but give us both.
Sure. I've got I can think of a lot of mistakes I've made, Rod. I think one large one was waiting for so long to get into real estate. It's a twofold question, because I think I was scared. I mean, really, for the better part of a decade, to jump into real estate with so much desire and waiting for the market to be right, and just being afraid to fail forward. I think the double-edged sword and the flip side to that is, having waited so long gave me a lot of urgency, having waited till my 30s to get into real estate and work for myself and start a business, to really work that much harder to maybe make up for lost time.
Yeah, we hear that a lot.
Another failure would be, my very first townhouse that I bought was negative cash flow, just a very elementary level of running the numbers. I didn't have anyone to learn from. I just sort of signed on the dotted line, jumped in with both feet, and made operational mistakes throughout. So,
well, I'll tell you. Let me interject something. That is a very common mistake with townhouses and condos, because you don't take into account the HOA fee and the effect on the cash flow. Mm-hmm. So, I totally get that.
Now, since September, you've done, passive investing in a 79 unit, but also a 40 unit as general partner here, which is awesome. How were you able to push through that fear and get to that first deal so quickly?
Yeah, great question, Mark. I think, one, I had a little bit of an advantage because I've, been in the real estate residential space for 6 years. So there was slightly less of a learning curve, although there were a lot of similarities jumping into multifamily and being surrounded by like-minded individuals that led me to become a general partner so quickly. I think when you're starting something new, it's really important to say yes to everything often. So you really are at a sponge stage. I think as you progress and advance, you tend to say no more as you figure out what you're good at. But early on, I just said yes to everything. Coming down to the Warriors Only meetup shortly after joining, I believe it was October of 2022, and realizing there are 300 people around the country with similar mindset and goals and experience levels, and some less experienced than me and some more experienced than me, really
helps a lot, doesn't it?
Quick. It sure does.
That helps a lot when you can see it's been done. And I know that on the deal you did as a general partner, I'm looking at your notes here, you partnered with other Warriors on that deal, it looks like, yes?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Yes, some awesome people. I love some of these names. Very successful people. And by the way, Mark, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, Rod, not only did I partner with them early on, but they're folks that I still talk to once a week or a couple times a month to this day. And it's been the ultimate game changer and really put me on the fast track to success.
Yeah, I will tell you, I just saw David at the IMN conference literally a few days ago. Beautiful human being. Jennifer, John, and Sam. You got some, Frank, good Lord, you've got some real rock stars that you partnered with on that deal. And by the way, we just scheduled our next Warrior Only event, which is going to actually be on the West Coast. I've had them all here in Sarasota because I live in Sarasota and I pay a good chunk of money to put those things on. And I buy, you fly, but I'm doing one in Phoenix actually in November. So it'll be on the West Coast. Those of you Warriors that are listening will be very excited to hear that if you're over there on the West Coast, but that's our next one. You got a lot of value from that, right? I mean, we dove deep on underwriting and you got to network like crazy. Yes?
Insurmountable value. That definitely helped put me on the fast track. And the last thing I will say, what possibly moved the needle more than anything was taking blind faith in my Warrior coach. He would say jump and I would say how high. And oftentimes I wasn't sure about the method to his madness, but it's almost like he had a crystal ball. He had been through so much in a relatively short amount of time that it was limitless value what I learned from him in a very short time within the first 3 months of joining the Warrior program.
So what were some of those things? You mentioned he told you to do some of those things that you weren't quite sure. You just trusted the process. What were some of those things that he told you to do that felt kind of uncomfortable?
Yeah, it was a huge list, and you touched on the key word there, Mark, which is he got me comfortable being uncomfortable, and everything from having me get over myself and post live posts for 30 to
live videos, right? Oh yeah, he does that with some of his students, and you're gonna post a live video on Facebook. Yeah,
30 of them for 30 days, and I was more scared of disappointing and letting my coach down than I was of posting the videos. Starting a website and a company, I worked nights trying to think of a name, and I didn't know why exactly he was wanting me to do that. And sure enough, weeks would go by and I'd have these epiphanies of going, wow, he was adding so much value to me from the very beginning that it really accelerated.
That's great. No, that's so important. And that's what a coach does. A coach narrows the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And sometimes it's just little nudges. I remembered something I wanted to say, which was, you have operated in a fire ready aim capacity. And I want to tell you, I want to take my hat off to you, because I will tell you, I think you're a fairly analytical guy, and that's challenging sometimes. We get a lot of analytical people that listen to the show, and who you are, and I love you, and that you have to check off every single box before you make a move. And I want to tell you that, it's okay to make mistakes. What's not okay to have regret because you didn't take any action whatsoever. So I don't care if you learn from me, but don't lose out on this incredible opportunity that's coming. I truly believe unbelievable opportunities coming. I've been going to events with other large operators, and there's a lot of fear because there's a lot of deals that are in trouble with bridge debt. And these operators either have to sell or they have to refinance, and neither option is looking great right now because there's a 75% year over year decline in sales, and the rate caps are just crazy. I don't know if you heard my Facebook Live on rate caps, but if you wanted to cap your interest rate on an adjustable rate mortgage, $100 million mortgage in 2020, cap it for 3 years and cap it at 3%. So it'd only go up 3% in a 3-year period. That was $23,000. That same rate cap today, just for 1 year, forget 3 years, for 1 year is $2.3 million. Okay. And a lot of operators don't have that kind of money. So there's incredible opportunity coming. So guys, if you're listening, for God's sakes, if you've been thinking about this, get off the fence and learn it as quickly as you can. If I didn't mention it in the intro, we've got our boot camp coming up in September in Orlando. Should be about 1,000 people there. It's going to be a kick in the butt. There'll be hundreds of warriors there, and it'll just be an incredible opportunity for you to, maximize this business. So anyway, I do hope I see you if you can make September.
Oh, I'll be there for sure.
You'll be there, Ian. Good, brother.
Booked it. Yes, sir.
All right, awesome.
Well, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, Ian, because obviously you mentioned, the fear of jumping into multifamily in a hot market, right? Where things were just going up and up and up. Now with interest rates, the market, everything changing, there's even more fear. What do you think would be the advice or message that you would give to people that, are afraid of those things and they're not taking action right now because of that?
Sure. Great question, Mark. I would say education is the most important thing. And as the market changes and rates change, and I see it in the residential real estate space and the commercial real estate space. I mean, we have, $1.5 trillion in loans that are expiring end of this year and early next year. And it's always a good time to jump in. I mean, there's up markets, there's down markets, and I was so analytical for so long that jumping in and becoming a warrior moved the needle for me more than anything I've done in the last 2 decades. So, well,
I salute you, brother. I salute you for taking action, because again, that's the biggest hurdle for people that are analytical, and I get it. And I will tell you that persona kills it in this business because it's primarily numbers. It's empirical. You get the numbers right, and if you're not a numbers person, then you need to align or hire or partner with somebody that is. But you get the numbers right, it's a home run. And so, do you think there's a specific type of person that's better suited to this business? I alluded that analytical people can do really well in this business, but what's your answer to the question? What type of person do you think's best suited for our business, the multifamily business?
Well, it's such a team sport, Rod. In fact, I just got done reading a book called The Ideal Team Player, and it talks about the three virtues of teams and how there's not enough emphasis on teams in our education system, among many other things. But it really talks about having the three virtues: being hungry, being humble, being smart. And I think that anyone would be amazing in this business because you are seeking out folks with complementary skill sets. That was one of the things that stopped me from purchasing a quadplex back in 2021, is I was having to be jack of all trades, master at none. Whereas multifamily syndications has allowed me to play my strong suit.
Yeah. You mentioned hungry, and I just, I do these Own Your Power clips every week about, motivational topics. And in fact, I'm writing one today for this week. And, and because mindset and drive is such a big component of this, that's why, our Warriors own, somewhere between 160 and 170,000 units that we know of. We're trying to count them right now. It's very hard. But where do you get your hunger? Where do you get your drive? What makes you jump out of bed every morning to go do this? And most importantly, what made you push through the fear of doing the things that you did, that Eric had you do and we had you do, to really take action with this? What's the driver?
Two things, Rod. One, I waited till I was in my mid-30s to really get up off my butt and take any action. And I think it's about impressing my former self, impressing my younger self, who always wanted to start a business, I wanted to get into real estate since I was in college freshman year. And having not taken action until my 30s was a big why of really, that self-satisfaction piece of accomplishing something. And the other big why is I have, my parents I'm very close with. They're late 60s, early 70s, and they've taken a pretty substantial hit with their savings in the stock market. And I've been able to, so much of what I've learned in the last 9 months, I've been able to share with my close friends and family. And it's just really about a financial education, which I think, we live in a culture of buy now, pay later and invest in the stock market. And so what I have learned in the last 9 months to bring to my other relationships is a huge why for me.
Yeah, I love it. And I want to say something, if you're listening, you've got money in the stock market, I just kind of want to put a little tick mark by that for you right now, because I really believe the soup's about to hit the fan. As this commercial debt, if they can't sell or refinance, which doesn't look good, and a lot of that debt, and by the way, a third of all commercial real estate debt is adjustable rate, which shocked me when I found that out. I didn't realize it was that high, 1/3. And like Ian said, 1.6 trillion is expiring by next year, and they've got to sell or refi. And if they can't, a lot of banks are going to be taking back debt, and I believe there are going to be bank failures, and that's going to create stock market. We could have a crash. We could literally have a stock market crash. I think that's very possible. So again, if you've got money in the stock market, be very, very careful. And of course, if you're interested in learning this business, you want to apply to our Warrior program, let me tell you how to do that. And it's an extraordinary program, as you're kind of hearing from Ian here. What you do is you text the word crush to 72345. Again, that's the word crush to 72345. And, we check you out, you check us out. And if it's a fit, you're off to the races. And if it's not, you'll still leave that call better than when you got on it. I promise you that. It's extraordinary times that we're living in right now. And I believe incredible opportunity is coming. I think pain is coming too, but with that pain will come opportunity. And so, get up to speed quickly. If it's going to be real estate, come to my boot camp, apply to my warrior program, whatever, learn from somebody else. I don't care, but learn it right now. If you want to buy businesses, there are 80 million baby boomers getting old and they're retiring and they own businesses too. So just, everything's going on sale and there's going to be a lot of opportunity. So you just got to, decide what you're going to do, go learn it and go kick absolute butt.
Well, Ian, why did you come on board with the team? I know you were a realtor, sold tens of millions of dollars in homes, fairly successful. You've done single family investing. Why did you decide to come on board and become a warrior instead of going on your own?
Sure. One of the very first big things that I got from residential real estate was I'm an independent contractor with these communities of about 250 homes each. And the way it was presented to me was, you're a franchise owner, almost like we're giving you a McDonald's. So there's room to be an entrepreneur as a 1099 employee to, instead of selling hamburgers, we're selling residential homes, right? So you're operating within that franchise. And the developer I work for, year one, I was in business, hired a coach for me. And that really moved the needle faster than just about anything. So when I saw that there was coaching available through the Warrior program, it really piqued my interest.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand the whole coaching model. They've heard go to school, study in college, get a job, work for 30, 40 years and then retire on a pension. And I love to tell the story. My dad worked for Continental Airlines for 36 years. And you know how much pension my mom got? $697. And then the other people, and a lot of people just don't understand the coaching informational marketing space. And talk about coaching for a minute. Michael Jordan had 5 coaches. I try to see if I can name them all. He had a nutrition coach, obviously a head coach, assistant coach, relationship coach for him and his wife. Oh God, literally 5, maybe it was 6 coaches. I can't remember all of them right now, but he's the best in the world with 6 coaches. And, and I've had coaches throughout my entire life. I mean, I just went to a business course, a business event, just in the last 30 days. And here's the thing, guys, if you're not growing, you're dying. And if you want to maximize what you're doing, get a coach and you can do it so much faster. Okay. Just so much faster. Basically, you're paying for speed is what it is. Would you agree with that, Ian?
I couldn't agree more. In fact, funny story. I was having dinner last week with some friends of mine that are about to take a $500,000 bath on a beach vacation house here in South Carolina. And the conversation quickly turned to coaching. And this friend of mine is fairly stubborn, not wanting to take on a coach and trying to do it all themselves. And they're not going to real estate meetups, and it's going to cost them $500,000.
It's a shame. Yeah, that's the other piece. Obviously, is to prevent mistakes, and it's so easy to make mistakes. And there's more zeros in apartments than there are houses as well. So that's another big piece. And and the other piece really. And I've always had high performance coaches as well. It's the life coaching component that's super important as well. It's not just about the money. It's about your health. It's about your relationships. It's about your purpose, your mission and purpose in life. All of those things come into play to achieve the level of success that you want. So let me ask you this, Ian, what's your definition of success? Just out of curiosity.
Great question, Rod. Being able to do what you want, when you want, with who you want.
Love it.
In a nutshell.
That's it. That's a great answer. Well, listen, brother, I appreciate you coming on. You did a great job and you definitely added value and we'll see you at the very latest at that Warrior event. Oh, probably at the September boot camp. But most of my really successful warriors go to everything just because it's just it's in this business, it's who you connect with. It's really, that's even more important than the knowledge of the business. It's the connections. Would you agree with that, Ian?
Couldn't agree more, Rod, and look forward to seeing you at everything and really appreciate it. It's a real honor to be here today.
Thank you, brother. See you soon.
Thanks, Ian.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
So one other quick thing. We encounter so many people that are frankly frustrated. They're looking in the mirror and they're frustrated that they haven't been able to escape the rat race. They haven't been able to build cash flow to the point where they're able to have financial and time freedom with their families. And maybe they see other people buying real estate and creating, incredible cash flow, and they think, well, it's just scary. Buying apartments is intimidating. And I get it. See, that's why we created our Warrior Mentorship Program. They're our coaching students, and they've had extraordinary results. My students, I've been teaching about 5 years, and they own upwards of 140,000 units now that we know of, right? And we feel like it's just getting going. Now, we're looking to grow this group and really take it to the next level. And honestly believe that the greatest transfer of wealth could be upon us right now with this current economic environment. Everything's going on sale. So we're looking for people who want to follow a proven framework, really like a blueprint or a map, literally step by step. And then they're able to leverage our systems and our incredible network to raise money and equity, to find deals and close those deals and build partnerships, really nationwide. So if you're interested in finding out more about how you can become more in our incredible network and take advantage of the unbelievable opportunities that are upon us, you can apply to my Warrior Mentorship Program by texting the word CRUSH to 72345, or you can go to mentorwithrod.com. And what we'll do is we'll set up a call so you can check us out and we can check you out and see if it's a fit. Now, again, you can go to mentorwithrod.com or text the word CRUSH to 72345 to apply, and we will speak soon.